Donkey Kong series has a specific kind of magic that's nearly impossible to find anywhere else. For quite a while, I've searched for games that gave me that same feeling, and, well, I found 10 of them. Let me share them with you. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, 2019. When Playtonic first announced they were moving from the 3D world of their debut to a 2.5D perspective for the Impossible Lair, I'll admit I was a bit skeptical. But then I played it, and man, it felt great. What a nice tribute to Donkey Kong Country. Playtonic is composed of many former Rare developers who worked on the original SNES trilogy. What I find most brilliant about this game is the overworld. It's a top-down puzzle environment that isn't just a level select screen. By interacting with the overworld, you can change the state of the levels. And yeah, I remember the first time I realized I could freeze an entire level just by solving a puzzle outside of it. It felt like a genuine aha moment, actually. Also, we have to talk about David Weiss and Grant Kirkhope. Having the original DKC composer back in his element is a gift. The remixes between the normal and state change versions of the tracks are seamless and, honestly, some of the best work they have done in decades. Kaze and the Wild Masks, 2021. If you told me Kaze and the Wild Mask was a lost Super Nintendo prototype found in a vault, I would probably believe you. Cause it feels like the successor to Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, which, in my opinion, is the peak of the original series. Instead of riding animals, Kaze uses wild masks to gain abilities. For example, the eagle mask gives you the flight ability of Squawks, the parrot, and the shark mask gives you the underwater control of Engar, the swordfish. If you ask me, I love the tiger mask. I mean, who doesn't love wall jumping? Don't get me started on the levels. There is no fluff here, and every stage introduces a new mechanic, tests you on it, and then throws a bonus room challenge at you. Niko Deriko, The Magical World, 2024. This is one of the more recent entries on the list, and wow, it is good. Niko Deriko is like a mixture of both Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, and Crash Bandicoot. The influence of Tropical Freeze is undeniable here. From the way the camera sweeps around the environment to the heavy emphasis on mounting large creatures. It feels like a big budget sequel we never got. One thing Niko Deriko gets right is the couch co-op. Much like the modern DKC Returns games, playing with a partner can be both helpful and hilarious. Out of everything, I love the character designs. Marsupilami Hoobadventure, 2021. Don't let the licensed nature of this game fool you. It is secretly one of the best platformers of the last decade. It's based on a Belgian comic character, but the gameplay is Rayman Origins mixed with Donkey Kong Country. While the Kongs are known for being a bit heavy, the characters in Hoobadventure are fast. You have a tail whip that functions like a grapple, and when you chain jumps together, the momentum is just wow. It's the kind of game where you can speedrun a level on your first try if you're in the zone. You will be blown away by how good this game looks. The colors pop, the animations are fluid, and the backgrounds are nice to look at. Jungle vibes? You got it. Yeah, it's a shorter game as compared to the others, but yeah, it's worth it. If you want a game that feels like a light version of Tropical Freeze, this is the one. Mekazoo, 2016. Oh, what a hidden gem. In Mekazoo, you control mechanized animals, switching between them on the fly to go through neon backgrounds. The heart of the game is the duo system. You might be swinging through the trees as a monkey one second, and then instantly switch to a frog to use its tongue as a grapple the next. When you get into a rhythm of switching characters mid-air, it feels incredible. Unlike the lush jungles of the Kong series, Mekazoo goes for a vibrant and neon synthwave look. I've always felt this game was unfairly overlooked. Cave Adventure, 2019. What if Donkey Kong had a jetpack? That's the basic premise of Cave Adventure. We play as a caveman who finds alien technology in a prehistoric world. It sounds wacky, and it is, but the platforming is rock solid. Now, when you add the jetpack, it doesn't make the game easy. In fact, it just adds a layer of resource management to the platforming. On top of that, you have a limited fuel bar that refills when you touch the ground. Well, the boss battles in this game are a highlight for me. They remind me of the creative encounters in DKC 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. They require you to use your jetpack in clever ways to avoid attacks. And, it's a bit more action heavy than your standard Kong game, but overall, a solid 8 over 10 game. Windswept 2025. As a newer title, Windswept is a game that nicely captures the mood of the SNES era. It's a 2D platforming featuring a duck and a turtle, and the pixel art is simply breathtaking. It looks like how we remember SNES games looking through the lens of nostalgia. The interaction between the two main characters is the hook. You can switch between them, and they have different physics and abilities. The way they move together feels very similar to the tag team mechanic from the original trilogy. There's a softness to the world building here that reminds me of the quieter moments in Donkey Kong Country 2. Stitchy and Tooki Trouble 2021. Stitchy is probably the most direct clone on this list. It is unapologetically inspired by Donkey Kong Country Returns. You play as a scarecrow trying to get his corn back from wooden statues. And let me tell you, this isn't a complex game. It features minecart levels, barrel cannons, and free totem collectibles per level. Sound familiar? While some might call it derivative, I find it refreshing. I call it a snack-sized DKC experience. The levels are short, the controls are responsive, and it's a great game to play when you want that Kong itch scratched without the difficulty of the modern Retro Studios games. It looks a bit like a high-end mobile game, but playing with the precision of a console title. It's cool, and honestly, sometimes I just want to blast through a minecart level without having to worry about a complex story. Stitchy delivers exactly that. Bug 1995. Let's take a trip back to the Sega Saturn. Bug was Sega's answer to the pre-rendered 3D look that Donkey Kong Country popularized. While DKC was technically 2D gameplay with 3D sprites, Bug took it a step further by allowing the character to move on a 3D grid. Even though the pathing was mostly linear. Playing Bug today is such an experience, I'm telling you. You can see the developers working on how to make a next-gen platformer. The character Bug has a lot of personality and a lot of quips, much like the Rareware characters of the time. The level design uses the 3D space in a way that feels like a prototype of what we would eventually see in games, like, Super Mario 3D Land. Clockwork Knight 1994. Another Sega Saturn classic. Clockwork Knight was released right around the same time as the original Donkey Kong Country. You play as Sir Tongera de Peperusho III. Yes, really. He's a toy knight on a quest to save a clockwork princess. The best part of Clockwork Knight is the setting, because you're a tiny toy. The levels take place in giant bedrooms, kitchen, and toy rooms. Now see, the game is short, but the presentation is top-notch. Good music and good animation? Sign me up. It must have been the cutting edge of technology in 1994. Kong continues to live on in so many cool games. I hope you find a new favorite among my list of 10 games. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below.